So let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earning for a goal of elevation. Just passing the team over here, might finish that bright future we can't vanish. It's E25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions. Thank and fans on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when Eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Eagle Eye Football. Today, we are playing Sunderland, so we are joined with a Sunderland fan, Conrad. Conrad, how are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. Looking forward to it, especially after our... it's rude to call it a stalemate after the last game when I think you pretty much peppered our goal, but if it wasn't for the heroics of a keeper, then...
Were you at the game or did you watch on the television?
No, I was busy, so I was at home. But I managed to sort of get the. I think I started watching it just after Pino missed a 1-on-1, and then I was watching the rest of it like this, just thinking, "Oh, one's going to go in. It's got to. Thankfully, in our case, it never did.
I mean, to be fair, I know you guys made a good chance in the first half, and I was thinking, what's going on? But anyways, we're here. Thanks for coming on early as well, Conrad. Before I ask you some questions, let's just quickly go into the chat. Big up the dog. A cat versus an eagle. Clever. I know who wins this one. Big up the dog. But so first things first. I mean, how do you think your season's going?
It's all right, isn't it? Better than most could have hoped, I would have said. I think at the start of the season, we were all fairly diplomatic and going, well, right recruitment, we might be able to challenge for survival, and that's the main aim. I don't think in our wildest dreams we thought we'd sign half the players that we did, get half the results that we have so far, and be... The main thing was ahead of Newcastle for 21 weeks of the season so far, and then beat them as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm beating them as well. That's
It's been very nice. It's been strange considering how well the Premier League's gone for the last few years, where it was just if you're a newly promoted side, it's basically you get slapped up and you're sent packing, and then you might come back in 2 years' time. But so we were on the edge, especially as a playoff promoted side, not even one of the ones that went up with massive points. We were a bit like, it's going to be tough, but let's just beat. I think it was gradual targets, wasn't it? It was beat Southampton's total from last year, and then it was now let's see how quickly we can get to 20. Now let's see how we can get to 30, and to be on 30 by the second week of January, I think I was like, well, I'm happy with that. That's fantastic.
No, absolutely, and I think that's a good point that you raised, like about we've had 2 seasons and 6 teams have gone down, but I think my personal opinion on those was like I think. A couple of them could be caveated. Like I think Luton and Ipswich being there, I think was just amazing anyway. And then I think like the others just kind of fell short with their business. But like looking at your business that you've done, for me, I thought of the 3 teams, you were probably the most likely side to stay up. I mean, has there been who's been like particular standout in this season so far?
I mean, the obvious one, but we all name him, is obviously Xhaka. Just complete. An utter culture change in the club, bringing him in, not just his leadership on the pitch, but how he's sort of been key into shaping everything we do off the pitch as well. So it's almost like he's come in as almost assistant manager in a weird way. Going like, this is how we set up, this is how we train, this is what's better for us. So straight into a leadership role sort of straight away, which has been fantastic. And he really sort of opened the door for other big players to sort of join us. So before him, it was we got Diarra, who's an exciting prospect at Senegal, 21. We got Siddiqui, who's 20. And it was a bit like, well, these are sort of seemingly all right players, Europa League sort of level. This is a good sort of thing to be aiming for, but no Premier League experience. And it was Talby. Well, he's breaking through into Club Brugge, Champions League goals to his name. That's not a bad one. And you were sitting there going, this is great, but where's our experience? Where's our sort of drive? And then when they were all joking about, when we all thought they were joking about Xhaka, we were like, a good one. Yeah. So when are we going to re-sign Henderson? And, look at Brentford. And then when it was like, no, he only wants to join you, doesn't want to go Saudi or stay there, it was a bit like, oh my God, we're actually we're actually doing this. And then, it's been fantastic. But I do have to give a shout out to Roofs, the keeper, who at 22 years old, we're already discussing, is he the best ever Premier League keeper we've had? And he's played 3 games. And then Siddiqui as well, just a sort of a gem from out of nowhere as that little terrier in the midfield, plays alongside Xhaka, but just is absolutely everywhere, can turn you out of a tight spot, not scared to have the ball, not scared to take somebody off the ball as well. And we had a really big miss with him at AFCON for a few games. And then thankfully he came back for the FA Cup game and just was like, I'm playing. I'm not waiting. I want to play.
Yeah. And actually, I think that's a good question that Durfez has asked. I know you just mentioned AFCON. How has AFCON impacted your squad?
Yeah, it was... Well... I mean, we had 7 possible players that could have gone, which was seven of our signings as well, which was a bit like, okay, great. So then we started to worry about December, because it was a bit like our team suddenly looked like last year's team. And then it was a bit we all thought they were really good, exciting players, but there's a big drop off in personnel and ability at that point. So we lost Siddiqui, who I mentioned, to Congo, Masuaku to Congo. Diarra is out with Senegal and has made the final. Talbi is with Morocco and made the final as well. Traore from Ajax, who we got, is with, I can't remember the name of their country as well, but he only just came back. And then we had Reynildo at the left back for us, who has been fantastic as well. I think he has the highest one-on-one defensive success rate in the league, which was massive for us at like 83% when he's played City and Liverpool and Arsenal as well for us, and you're like, wow, that's a good stat to have. But to sort of rid the team of nearly all of those players, thankfully after the derby, I think we put like a special thing in to be like, no, they're not going before December 14th. Like, deal with it. So
entirely fair, to be honest.
Exactly, and it's been a bit. So Talbi, for example, has been a fantastic player for us, and considering that he wasn't even a starter at Bruges, but he was like just breaking into the team, and then we took him to almost be, well, you're going to start for us, but sort of be in and out of it. You're still developing. Watching him go to AFCON and play 16 minutes of the 6-7 games they played has been a bit annoying.
I know that feeling, because Sar's gone for us, and it's like, I think he's been a sub in like pretty much every game or something like that. And it's like,
it's just annoying. And I get it with Talbi, because he's behind Diaz at Real Madrid, who's like the top scorer in the competition at AFCON. So I'm like, I get it. But you're almost at this point going, can we just have him back? If you're not going to play him in the final, just let us have him now. Same with Diarra. He got a yellow card in the semi-final, which means like Gascoigne in 1990 is not allowed to play in the final. So we're a bit just send him home then. Like, but I know he'll want to be there in case they win it. But when you're just like selfishly going, no, come back. Like you can't play, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it massively, because our last win was Newcastle, which obviously is a great one. But when a friend of mine was telling me about Palace going, they're on a bad run, they haven't had the win since then. It's like they only won the week before we last won. Apart from the FA Cup, which I'm not counting because Cup can throw up anything, as you well know from the weekend. We're almost the same distance away from our last win anyway.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, because I was going to mention the recent run, but to be fair, you've played some pretty decent teams from what I can see. Like, I'm going back to like Liverpool, then you played City, Newcastle, Brighton away is a difficult one, because I know they got a good home record. Leeds, I always feel like when two promoted teams face each other, I always feel like it's quite a difficult one. And then Man City as well. I know Spurs are a bit rubbish, but Brentford also very decent, because really the only maybe not as good team you could argue is in there is probably Spurs. I mean, out of those teams, is a fan base happy with this run? Are you happy with this run? Or
I think we were just like, keep the points ticking over. Let's not ruin any momentum, and let's just see where we get on. But so we tried to take it game by game. So Brighton, we were thrilled with a point at the time. We probably could have done better in the first half with some chances, but by the end of it, you go, oh well, you come away with Brighton with a point. Never mind. Then was it Leeds next? Leeds played us off the park at home. They really did. And this was in the middle of their run where they drew with Liverpool, they beat Chelsea, and they were just scoring for fun. And really, they did deserve to beat us at home, but they didn't. We sort of got away. Once you go in isolation, you go, well, it's another point. We're still unbeaten at home. And then you were like, right, here we go with Man City at home. It was nice to have the unbeaten at home record while it lasts.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of the people watching or yourself watched the game where we actually matched them. I thought we were just as good as them. Brobby probably should have scored. Mayenda's forced a good save from Donnarumma. Haaland didn't have a sniff the whole game, pocketed by, 2 players that cost less than 10 million. And we were like, okay, great. And then it was off to Spurs. And we played really bad for that first half, and then clawed our way back into it and got a point. And you were like, okay, so in isolation, all these results sound acceptable. But then you look back at it and go, that is 4 draws in a row.
Yeah.
Haven't won. So then you look at the Brentford game going, well, we're sort of neck and neck in the table. We beat them earlier on in the season. Can we do something? We played terrible again. And then second half, we sort of creep back into it, might get 1-1. And then I don't know if you've seen the penalty that I'm still annoyed at.
Was it the Panenka?
It was, where he Panenka'd it straight and Kelleher just stood still and just caught. It was one of those. It was just like, and then from there, heads dropped. They scored again like a couple of minutes later, and it was like, well, game's gone. Yeah, exactly. And I was very sort of, I think at home, I was pacing around the house, just sort of going like, how dare you do that? Like, how dare you even think that 1-0 down? Like, who does that?
Yeah.
But he scored in the FA Cup game the other day and scored his penalty in the shootout as well. So he sort of made up for it. But it's in isolation, all the results apart from Brentford are fine. But then you do look at it and go, but you haven't won in 6.
Yeah.
So it's sort of teetering on that edge. So this is a big game for us not because of we think, we should be beating a side like Palace because you are a great side. It's more because of the string of results that we've had. We need to show that we can do that and turn it back around.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we've had our debates about our form recently as well, because I think for us, I feel like our squad has really been impacted by Europe and like time, and also we don't have a particularly big squad anyway. And so because of that, we haven't won since we beat Shelbourne, but it was
at Fulham on the 6th.
Fulham,
I think I saw,
it was for Fulham in December. So since then, played City, lost against Leeds. We got absolutely battered against Leeds.
They were on an absolute tear at that point though, so there was almost no stopping Leeds.
Yeah, and then lost against Spurs. That was unfortunate, really. Draw against Fulham, okay. Lost against Newcastle, boo. I prefer Sunderland over Newcastle. I'll just give
we all
you that
do,
one. Yeah. Villa was a draw. That was a good draw, actually. I thought we played well. And then I won't talk about our last result because that was...
They're only going to bring it up every time there's an FA Cup round.
I know.
Now until the end of time, until somebody does it an even bigger gap.
I know. I've got a Coventry City fan at work, and obviously that was one. It was like Coventry versus Sutton United or something like that, and he was happy about it. He was like, well, everyone's going to talk about Palace losing to Macclesfield now.
Yeah, so. A friend of mine in America who sort of just getting into football, pays attention to Sunderland for me, but was a bit like, I saw Macclesfield beat Palace. They say that's big. Is that big? And I was like, that's the biggest thing there's probably ever been in the FA Cup in terms of a giant killing. And especially because you were the holders.
I know.
It's like if it was just last season, you'd have finished wherever, and it would have still been big. But because you were the FA Cup holders, it's sort of like, oh God, right, okay. But I mean, I didn't have a look at your squad that day. I haven't really caught up on the highlights. I just know it, and there's almost a bit of me that's like, I don't need to know. Like,
they deserved it. Macclesfield deserved
it.
They were genuinely the better team. So I don't. So based on that, I think for us, I think it's quite difficult to say who how we're going to turn up. Are we going to be kind of raring to go? Or are we going to, I don't know whether our confidence is going to be a bit destroyed. For me, it's quite hard to say.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to have to almost come out a bit because you need to almost make a statement after that sort of level of performance and result. I feel it, but I don't know if Glasner is the type to fall into that sort of potential trap of like, right, well, I need to go 2 overboard the other way and then risk that game. I think he's a very calculated man, so I wouldn't mind betting that he's a bit like, we want to do that, but we need to be clever about how we do that rather than just sort of go, right, 10 up top, we're going to win, and just go for it.
Yeah, I think so, because I did rewatch our game at first, and like the first half, I felt like was literally like there weren't a lot of chances in that first half, and it was only really like a relatively fortunate break that we then were able to get that Pinot chance, and but like, we both had one chance in that half, and like that was it. So I do wonder whether it's going to be I don't know, maybe something similar. Quick question: how good are you at your set pieces?
It depends if Ballard plays. I know last time I was on this channel, thank you for having me again, by the way. Rich was like, he went, we won't concede a set piece unless Ballard's playing, because Ballard is a threat. And he is exactly that. He wins absolutely everything. And he puts his head in where people are scared to put their feet, that sort of thing. We're all right at set pieces. We've got a good long throw. I don't know if you have I think you have a long throw. I think I heard
we do. Yeah, we do long throws.
Yeah, so we've got a good one of them with Mukiele, and I think we're very good at trying to get the second ball, which is something we've never seen as Sunderland. So it's really quite nice to watch us actually try and fight for these scraps. So we're okay. I don't think we've scored a corner at any point, but we've had a couple from a free kick and definitely some from long throws, but I don't think we've had a corner or anything. So do what they did. Was it Stoke that year when they put it out for a corner instead of giving it out for a throw in?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was proper Barclays. Now Barclays is back again.
So funny. Yeah, just like that way.
But what I love about it is like you got. Like everyone on Twitter was saying, like, "Oh, we want the Barclays back. We want the Barclays back." And everyone started doing long throws, and everyone started whinging about it.
Yeah, who does this? It's just cheap football. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. What I love about that Stoke team as well is like they made the pitch like as legally small as they possibly could as well. Yeah,
which is mad to even think that a sport you're allowed to change the dimensions of the pitch.
Yeah.
Any other sport would be like, this is it. Football, you can be like, the Emirates is massive, and then you like Stoke City, you're like as small as we can be.
Yeah. I'm just going to go through some comments, and then we'll do like a combined 11.
Yeah, no worries.
Big up, Damo. Hope you're all good. Are you going up tomorrow, Damo? No, tomorrow, Saturday. Dog is saying unless lion counts a cat. Well, if it's black cats, I guess that's like panthers.
It's like panther,
yeah. Is it a black cat or is it like a panther?
It depends which sort of image you look at. Most of our sort of big promotional images is like a panther, but then our mascot is very much a house cat. So it depends what the mood we're in, I guess.
Mm-hmm. What is there a reason for it? Like, what's the history?
I don't remember really on that one there. So I've never really looked into it. We just always were the black cats, and we're a family of having cats. So it was one of those things that just always went, that's fun. That makes sense, and never really questioned it.
Yeah, fair enough. Mary says your signings have been really impressive. I totally agree. Who's like your sport? Like who does what? Like, is there someone that gets all his credit?
We had Gasolfi from Roma. He was their sporting director, and we nabbed him in the summer, which really sort of like helped. And he travels to every game with the team. He's always there greeting the players as well. He doesn't go in the dressing room when the management are in there or anything like that, but he waits outside to sort of see everybody. So I think he's a very strong presence within the sort of the team and helping out with Regis and the management team, rather than sort of sometimes you can get some that have their own agenda. He seems a bit like he's fully invested in Speakman and KLD's idea of Sunderland, as well as the management side and the player side. So it's all really unified for us. So he's been great at highlighting some of these ones, and it's not like a Brighton highlight, and even though we don't like to talk about Brighton when you're a Palace one, but when they just randomly sign like a 2 million Ecuadorian and he turned out to be amazing, that sort of thing. We haven't quite made any signings like that. We've been doing 10 to sort of 25 million on players, but players that have been overlooked by clubs. Like, so Nordi Mukiele was playing at PSG, not really used, loaned to Leverkusen, not really used, and we've clearly gone, there is a player there. So we'll take advantage of that. A bit like we're talking about Barclays, but a bit like Wigan in like 2008 when they would sign like Palacios, Rodallega, Valencia, just to sign them, play for 2 years and be like, and then you can move to someone better. But in that meantime, it benefits us, So that's I think what our model is at the moment.
No, fair enough, and it seems to be working. You know what? Like, obviously, like I remember when you guys were like in the Premier League before, and like you went through like a few seasons of like, you'd be rubbish for like most of the season, and then like the last sort of like 10
We only
games,
played
you
in
would always
April.
turn it on. Yeah.
April and May. We were an April and May team. That was and Newcastle. We always beat Newcastle for 6 points, and then we'd win every game in April and May. That was how we survived.
And then obviously like it all just seemed to like go completely like tits up. But then to be honest though, it seems like, I mean, from an outsider looking in, it kind of seems like you kind of cleared all that dead wood, and then now like you've got like proper people in place who are doing good things, and like I think to at least on the outside, so those it's like paying dividends. Did you like have a change in ownership as well? Or?
We had about 3 or 4 probably was the best way to say it. So it all went wrong when we lost Allardyce to England, because we sort of were like, we're stable, this is it, we're going to survive and kick on. And he brought in Moyes, who just really didn't want to be there. And this was Moyes post Man United. So
where
it was a bit just he didn't care and he didn't really want to be there. And then the chairman was like, I'm not paying him more money because I've given it to Allardyce, I've given it to Poyet, I've given it to this guy, I'm not giving any more. So when he starved us of any money, we just sort of fell. And then when we fell into the Championship, he was a bit like, well, I'm still not putting any money into it. You've got players, just deal with it. And we brought in terrible manager Simon Grayson, who just didn't get it at all. Brought in Coleman, who really tried, but he just couldn't.
Chris Coleman.
Yeah.
But former Palace player.
Yeah, it was just a sinking ship. He was never gonna do anything there. And he was trying to put a brave face on something that was clearly going horribly wrong, and did what he could, but we just continued to fall. And then a businessman sort of took us over while we were on the cheap and tried to bounce us back as quickly as we could without spending. And that's when we lost to Charlton in the playoff final again. I say again because we've done that twice. And that's when the fans sort of turned on him, because it was a bit of like there was no money. He bought us on the cheap in hope that we would go back up straight away, and he would sell us for more and sort of flip it that way, and sort of stripped us of quite a lot of assets and in terms of players and sort of that way. And yes, the Charlton businessman I've just seen come up there, he was one of them, Medvin, and then Stuart Donald's the other one. But after a couple of years of not doing much, we were all getting a bit sick in League One, and then thankfully KLD came in, and Dreyfus. I think he's a family-owned Marseille.
I know the name. Yeah,
he came in, and it was a rocky sort of period. A lot of people were like, "Well, just put your hand in your pocket and do this," and because we were all sick of being in League One for 4 years.
I can imagine. Yeah.
And I don't think we went up the first time. I think we lost in the playoffs to Lincoln, and then the second season we did go up, and it was like, okay. And then we finished 6th in the Championship the year after, and you were like, oh. Right, okay, brilliant. We're sort of back, and then sacking Mowbray and bringing in Michael Beale, who.
I remember him.
So there's been missteps along the way. I mean, the biggest one, which is the most embarrassing one, is we played Newcastle in the FA Cup a couple of years ago, and we painted our bar black and white for them and put all their memorabilia in our own stadium, and it was like. And it all got out like images of it before the game, and everyone was like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, what is this?" And then obviously they came and won. They were a Champions League side at the time, and we were a struggling Championship side, and it was, it was just one of those things of like, this was going to be hard enough anyway, and you've just given them like a freedom to take the piss now for like years on end. So that's why the win the other month was such a big deal for us, because it was like vindication, and then doing the photo in front of the end and sort of just not even acknowledge. I don't know if you saw, but we didn't even put their logo or name on the scoreboard. It was just visitors. We didn't read their team out.
I respect that. I like that.
We didn't read their team out. They didn't get anything in the program. They didn't get, we were just petty all game, and it was exactly what it needed to be.
You know what? As it should be. Be. I completely agree.
The big tifo was a panther eating a magpie, and it was just. And then my favourite bit, which is proper childish, is at the end of the game, all the players only got the south stand to clap that end. They all ran to the north end because the Newcastle fans were up there, and we wouldn't let them out. So we were like, "You're not allowed out. We've got to let the home fans go." But the home fans were staying for a party, so they had to watch us. Like, they wouldn't even let them out their seats. Just like, no, you've got to stay here. Then we wouldn't let the Newcastle players over to clap their fans. We're just like, no, we're here. You need to go. Yeah. And as they trotted off the pitch, we started to play That's the Way. I like it. And it was just like this level of shithousery is like, I just live for this. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah, I respect that. That. That's how it's got to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Durfez, Wilf used to play for Ivory Coast with us, and he fell out of thing with the manager as well, if I remember. Monty, big up Monty. Brentford will destroy Macclesfield. Unfortunately, they will. Durfez saying he expects you to struggle without the 7 AFCON players to effectively a smaller season to get the points to stay up, and any points were positive for them in his opinion.
Yeah, it's probably best.
And we need to fix our things. Big up Earth. Do you always have a full stadium, or is it like Man City with some empty seats?
You
got quite a big stadium, to be fair.
Yeah, 48. It's been full this year, every single game. Last year, you were probably floating around the 44s, the 45s, and in the League Ones, you were floating around mid 30s. Breaking a 40 every now and again, which is great for League One. But a lot of our rival fans like to throw the fact of, when it was going terrible, you just didn't show up, and it's like, well, no, we played Accrington 6 times in one season. Like, of course we didn't. Like, and we were losing most of those games. Like, and when your owner, and they'll know exactly this, when they had Mike Ashley, they weren't selling out their stadium. And, when the ownership is bad and there's a bad vibe about the club, people don't tend to go, and it doesn't sell out. But it's been a sellout every game this season so far, apart from like the odd smattering of tickets on the day because people have sold them back to the club and they're trying to sell them. So absolutely full every single time. Yeah,
no, I totally agree because we were literally like no club every single club, if they went down to the Championship and stayed there for a length of time, they would stop selling out. Like, that's just how football is.
Absolutely. You don't.
I always find whenever people talk about attendances, you'll always find an example of their own club where attendances have been a bit shit.
Absolutely.
So,
it's never perfect for everybody.
No, exactly. Durfez saying, what should we expect in terms of match experience at Son's Ground? I'll be interested in this because I will be there.
Here we go. Right. So, I don't know if any of you like War of the Worlds, which is a very random thing. The big aliens that make the noise of.
Yeah.
So we do a foghorn for the shipyards at Sunderland, which I always joke that sounds like it's War of the Worlds sort of thing with a bit of a light show. We have a little intro package of Xhaka talking about what it means to the people, and then you've got the dance of the night and into the intro song, and that beforehand it'll be like 90s rave music is what they tend to sort of play in there, which is a nice touch because previously it's just been whatever rubbish is in the charts, and Ed Sheeran doesn't exactly get you up for a game even if you're an Ipswich fan, so I'm a bit like, that's not for me, that. But when you're playing like Pump It Up by Endor and stuff like that, that's a bit of a better sort of vibe for the game. A bit of K-pop Demon Hunters has slipped in there recently. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not mad at it. My kids play it all the time, so I'm a bit like, I get it. It is quite addictive, but I don't know if it has a place at a football ground.
Yeah, to be fair, when Mateta scores, we put on Venga Boys.
I like that though. That's class. Like, I love that
because I just can imagine like someone in that away and just sitting there, just like absolutely seething. Just already can see the goal, and they've got to hear Venga Boys boom, boom, boom.
Proper rattled. Yeah, it was a bit like Fleetwood Town used to have this awful goal song, and I don't know if they still do. But it was one, like, especially in League One, it was one of the most hideous things you could just sit there and listen to, especially in the COVID year with no fans and you had to hear it proper loud. And it was like, we've conceded 3. I've had to listen to this 3 times. Like, why has that happened?
That's unbelievable. I think it's like Bayern Munich or someone like that. When they score, they play like...
It's like the can-can almost.
It's like something like that. And I was thinking,
it's weird because you're a bit like...
If I was there, I'll be like, what?
You're such a big club and you play that. But
yeah. I respect
each to their own.
Yes, Damo, we're getting on the train as well. We're getting on the 8:33 from King's Cross. Who do you think is your best defender in your opinion? Dog likes Alderete, Mukiele, and Gertruda.
Yeah, Gertrude or Gertrude, whichever way. He's really good. He doesn't quite play every game. He's on loan, but I really think we should make him permanent because he also plays defensive midfield. He's played right back and he's played centre back across left and right side. So I think he's one of those utility players that we need to get. And every time they do a backstage, video of the players training, he's randomly sat in the gym singing Adele or something like that. And I'm just like, what a vibe this guy is. I just sign him just for that. My favourite's Mukiele. I think he's fantastic. Alderete is really clever and composed on the ball. Does like a hospital ball every now and again, but he's really sort of like, when someone's in danger of being like closed down and you think there's no way out of this, and then he'll do like 3 pirouettes and Maradona turn and just be there passing it off. And you're like, how have you even done that? Like, I don't understand. He does one of them, but then won't make a 6-yard pass because it won't get there. And you're like, what has happened? But no, Mukiele's fantastic. The one who does our long throw-ins. And I think he scored against Wolves. He's a bit like Xhaka. He's just a proper leader. And I think he just completely gets it, being what it means to play for Sunderland and sort of he just bought into it straight away. So he's my favourite. We have a meme that we put on our show every time, which is, that thing where it's like, boxing match, pretend you hate each other, have the fight. You actually like each other, hate each other for the and it just circles round. For him, it's just have a great game, have a great game, have a great game, have a great. That's just what he does. So we've probably now I've said that, he's probably going to have a shocker. But he's been fantastic. Yeah, he really has.
Yeah, no, nice. Dog's got another question. Would you take Jobe Bellingham back?
Oh, not as a regular starter, no. But over the AFCON period, I don't think he would have gone amiss. I think we could have used him at that point. He sort of played a really different role for us. He was sort of left centre mid. He was a bit more of a box to box sort of player, but he was really in there helping out the left back cover. We did a show once where he had a heat map, and it was like all this sort of left hand side channel he was sort of covering, which obviously was really helpful for our left backs at the time and trying to advance the ball forward on that side. But I don't think he would have made the step up. We all hoped he would.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But we all thought the same about Chris Rigg, and we're sitting there now going, like, it's not quite working out yet.
Yeah.
And obviously, as he's gone on to Dortmund, and everyone went, "Oh, he's ready for that," and he's not playing, he's not doing well, and you're a bit like, I would have loved him to stay. I thought he was really good. But when you sign Xhaka and he's going to play in his position, and when you sign Siddiqui and Diarra and you see how they play, you're sitting there going, you wouldn't have played. And then as a Bellingham, the whole fanfare around the Bellinghams, it was never going to be a bench player for them, which we've seen as they've kicked off with not playing really for Dortmund.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's interesting because I remember we actually bid for him. So that's very interesting to see that he kind of
under a different manager, especially someone like Glasner. He clearly could have made that sort of step up, but I just think that jump from us going from a playoff side in the Championship to Premier League sort of top 10, he wasn't going to make that big of a jump. Like it might have been all right for like a battling 17th sort of thing, but to jump that full way up, I don't think he was doing that.
Yeah, no, I get you. Big up, Chairman. Let's see. Very quickly, is the stadium food expensive?
It's about
anything you recommend?
Seven. Oh yeah, I like the Korean barbecue chicken. That's lovely.
Ooh, okay, I might have to get that then. That does sound nice.
That's really nice. I see everyone getting curry chips. Everyone gets curry chips. It's not for me, that one there. But then I've seen them getting curry chips with cheese, and you would think, oh, it's grated. No, it's just a slice of cheese on top. So it's a bit like it sort of diminishes this appeal of it a bit. I don't know if they just ran out and they got the burger ones and just went, there you go. It's about like 7 to 12 quid for something. So it's not too bad.
Nice. That does sound nice. Is that on the concourse?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully they got it anyway in.
Yeah, I think they should do. It's really nice. So yeah, if you get a chance to try that, that's really nice.
Yeah, I'll definitely give that a try. Right, let's do this. So what formation would you like, Conrad?
4-3-3, please.
All right, let's go 4-3-3. Right. Am I zoomed in enough? Yeah, I'm zoomed in enough. Right, Conrad, who you going goalkeeper? Sorry, I didn't say the rules. You've been on here before, though, haven't you?
Yeah, but I don't remember them. But go on.
So 3. It's got to be at least 3 players from each team.
Okay.
I think we'll get that. To be fair,
yeah.
They don't have to. They can be players who are currently injured or away on AFCON. So yeah,
that's fine. Yeah. So I think when I did this before, I might have only just put the 3 Sunderland players in there, but that was because we were 3 games into a season at that point. So it was a bit sort of like, and we were still signing players, and a couple of them hadn't played yet. So it was all a bit, So I think I put Henderson in goal last time, but I'm going to have to change that to Robin Roofs. At this point, now that I've seen it's like that, isn't it? Yeah, he's been one of the best keepers in the Premier League, if not the best keeper in the Premier League this season.
He's young as well, isn't he?
He's only 22. Whew. This is only his 2nd ever professional season playing football. Yeah, and he is claiming every single thing that comes in. Palace fans will have seen the damage that he can stop at Selhurst Park last time with simple saves, flying saves, command in the area and just sort of reaction saves. He's got it all. And then, of course, on the weekend, he saved 3 penalties in a shootout, 3 in a row. So, just I have to. I think Henderson's great. I really do. But I think I am going to let my bias take over on that one and go with Robin. No,
that's fair. I think that's fair enough. Right back.
Plus, he doesn't wear a hat when it gets sunny. He just gets blinded and lets a goal in. That was his only mistake this season. So, right back, Munoz. I want to put Nordy in there. Nordy's my favourite player, really, but it is Munoz. It just is.
Who's Nordy?
Nordy Mukiele.
Okay. Okay.
I would have put him in there. He can play centre back, right back as well, but he's primarily been operating on the right in a 4 for us there. So but I have to give it to Munoz. Just his energy to get up and down that pitch and cause absolute carnage is even though it's talked about a lot, it's almost criminally underrated still, like how much he gets away with it. I'm probably then going to go Ballard. I think I put Ballard in last time because of aerial threats, how well he's done at transitioning to the Premier League and being a really aggressive centre half as well. I think he's been really good. I'm then going to go Gahey while he's still there.
Well, he's still here, yeah.
I hope
that's who I would have gone as well, yeah.
Yeah, I hope he sees out the season with you there. Like, why, it's a bit like Trent. Why bother getting a couple of pennies for him now when it could derail you for the rest of the season? Just let's get as good as we can get out of him for this season and then let him go.
Yeah, I totally agree. Left back?
I'm going to go Reynildo, just because, like I said before, the highest one-on-one defensive sort of success rate so far.
How do I
Rein?
Rein.
Yeah, Reynildo.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh, he's from Mozambique. Okay.
Yeah. He was at AFCON, so we missed him as well. But then he's come back and then retired. I was like, "Could you not have retired before?" But cheers, mate. Thank you. He's been fantastic, and obviously coming from Atletico Madrid, his Diego Simeone-ness is rubbing off on the team. So win at all costs mentality.
I get that. Yeah. Okay. Right centre mid.
So we normally play a 3 with like a 6, an 8, and a 10, but obviously it's a flat here. So I'm probably just going to put them in any order.
We can do that. I don't know how to do it, but imagine it.
I'll just imagine it. So obviously, Xhaka has to be in for me. I think
would he go on the left or the right?
He would probably go in the centre. He's going to be the defensive mid sort of bit of it. The sort of the sweeper, the quarterback, the dictator of the play.
Yeah.
I don't think I had him in when we last did this. I honestly think I had Will Hughes, who I really like. I really like Will Hughes.
Yeah, I like Will Hughes too.
Yeah. I have to put Siddiqui in there just because of how good he's been. Again, I don't think I had him last time.
Left or right?
Either. Dealer's choice on that one because he's sort of more in the centre. We tend to play with like the wing back, sort of the wingers move back a little bit, and it's like a V sort of in the sort of 5, so they can drop into a flat 5 if we're in defence, and a 3 when we're in attack.
Yeah,
very flexible. I'm trying to think who's your attacking midfielder. It's not Pino because Pino plays out wide, doesn't he?
Well, our ones are more like here. If that makes sense, they're more like forwards rather than like wingers.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to chuck a midfielder in there, you probably either chuck Wharton or Kamada in there.
I really like Kamada. I think he's sort of, you never seen, for me, not watching and all things about Palace all the time. I think he's really underrated. He's a great player.
We've really missed him.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Kamada just for bias really, and doing that there. So Kamada for me. Is sort of like the more attacking one of the side there, I'll say.
Yeah.
I'm going to go straight to centre forward if you don't mind, because it's an easy one for me, which is Mateta. I think he is everything that a Sunderland striker needs to be, and we haven't quite got there yet. Brobby is the closest one we have to him, and he's starting to come good. He's scored a couple now, and he's really showing his value and his brute strength. But I just wish he had the same amount of goals as Mateta. That's fair. So on the wing, I'm going to put Sarr on the right. I think that's where he plays. Yeah, because the way he can get a goal and the way he drives at people is fantastic as well.
I'd say like really for us anyway, they're more kind of like there rather than
he's like a second striker, isn't he? More so, So, and I think that's more what I sort of want with it rather than a natural sort of winger. Yeah, sort of like. And then left side, we don't have a sort of natural sort of left-sided player, so you might get away with this one. Really, we have like a Dingra, but because he's former Brighton, I won't do that to and we don't rate him that much. He's not quite done it yet. Mundell, it came up with us from the Championship, but hasn't.
Yeah, I remember him.
Hasn't set the world on fire yet. He's getting better. We do play Enzo Lefebvre out there a bit, but he's definitely more of a sort of Kamada sort of position, really. So. I've seen Pino play out there a fair bit, getting cut back onto his right foot. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I mean he's blown a bit hot and cold. Again, he would tend to be more sort of like here.
I think I'm thinking was it his goal against Wolves in that sort of position, and I'm thinking about the positions that he picks up that I'd love to see a Sunderland player do, and the way he's quite direct. That's more what I'm sort of thinking, because Reynaldo and Siddiqui would cover him to allow him that sort of license to, if you lose the ball, it's fine, but I want to see you attacking them. And then on the other side, I've got Sarr and Mateta. I don't know if I'm being harsh now and maybe put in, it should be Brobby really. But no, I'm going to stick with that. I think I've definitely given more Sunderland players in that than I did last time.
Yeah, to be fair, you've had a great season, so I think that's fair enough. Yeah. The only one that I might suggest, but that's more just because I'm an Adam Wharton fanboy, is chuck it. I don't know where he'd go, but that would be the only thing.
Wharton's unlucky to miss out. I'm thinking I
do, but to be fair, if he's missing out to Xhaka, I think that was such a good signing, because it's the experience and the ability. Because I mean, he was at Leverkusen before he came to you, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he won the league, and then did really well the season after. So it was a bit of a robbery, really, that we got him.
To be fair, actually, Pat does bring up a good shout. At the moment, I'd probably put in, if we were choosing between Palace players, I'd probably maybe choose Johnson over Pino at the moment.
Sorry, I don't know who Johnson is.
Brennan Johnson, sorry.
Oh, yeah, of course. Ooh.
But then he would be more the Sarr player, actually. So maybe not then, maybe not.
This is me, and I might be being very harsh, and I think he's only... How many games has Johnson played for you so far?
Oh, only like...
2.
3. Well, including losing to Macclesfield.
Yeah. I saw him when he played for Lincoln down in League One.
Yeah.
I saw him when he played for Forest. I saw him play for Tottenham.
Yeah.
And this is, and I don't want to start right here. I think he's terrible. And we were linked with him as well. So when it was like, oh no, he's done deal, he's gone to Palace, I was like, thank God. I didn't want to pay that much money for him. But I was a bit like, I think he works really well under Ange because of how direct it was and how like gung-ho get in and it worked. But if you ask him to track back, he doesn't. If you ask him to do anything else, he doesn't. And this is just me watching him through the league, sort of when I've seen him a bit. And then, I'm hoping that at Palace, because I'm not really a big fan of Spurs, that it sort of comes good. But doesn't he play where Sarr would play?
Yeah, because Pat, I can see your comment. In this particular system here, Pino is a creative 10, and Sarr plays off the shoulder. So even though he can play on the left wing, he would play on the shoulder. So you'd have to swap it. Do you know what I mean? Like you'd have to swap it around if that makes sense. So it's not. I'm not saying that he can't play left wing. I'm just saying that he's better off the shoulder. Because to be fair, I think if you have Johnson in, I think he has a particular skill set, and if you play him outside of that skill set, he.
Yeah, if you don't play to his strengths, it doesn't show. But that a bit like I'm trying to think of someone for us but we haven't really played to our strikers' strengths yet this season, which is why our top goal scorer has 4. I think we're like the 3rd lowest scorers in the league. We don't play to our strikers' strengths, but we're doing all right with it.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, yeah, I think I'm just trying to see if there's any other comments to have a look. Arthur's a Leeds fan, by the way. He commented on your game earlier.
Oh, really?
You're lucky. You're lucky against him.
Apparently. I said that. I said Leeds.
To be fair, you did.
I said Leeds played us off the park at the stadium. Leeds were fantastic, and probably if anyone deserved to win it, it should have been them.
Yeah. Let's do some predictions, and then we can, and then we'll call it that. I'll go first. To be honest, I know we've actually got a decent record at your place, but I just think the way we are at the moment, the way you are, I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I think you'll score off a set piece, and I think we'll maybe get a goal from some other way. I don't know, but I'm going to go 1-1.
I've sort of mine's not far off of that. I have probably more with my heart than my head said we'll win it 2-1. I said after Roofs has done this amazing week of saving penalties, I could easily see Palace going like 1-0 up because Roofs drops one.
Yeah.
And then we fight our way back into it, and then a bit like earlier on in the season where we nick goals right towards the end, where it's a bit like a draw would have been fair, but they've managed to just steal it, and especially because of how sort of far it's been since our last win, especially at home, and especially now that AFCON's over, I think they'll want to be like, we need to try and win this. So there'll be a bit of a driving push from us to try and get that 3 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough. The others have said Irv's gone 1-1 as well. Durfe's gone 0-0.
I could see it.
Me too.
It's definitely likely. Yeah.
I think it's one of those games. It's definitely like in the balance, and I don't think there's no favourite by any chance.
No, definitely.
I'd be interested to see what the odds are. The odds are probably, I don't know, but let's say you got a good record at home, so maybe.
Yeah, we're waiting for that one team that's like you don't expect to turn up and they'll beat us at home. That sort of thing. It's like, especially seeing as we've got past Arsenal, City, Newcastle at home, and now you're like, well, right, okay. Who's going to take this from us? Because there's no way we're going the full. It'll probably be Burnley in like.
When you said that, I was thinking Burnley.
Yeah, because we've played Wolves at home, so they can't do it. But I just sort of think it's probably going to be someone like Burnley in like February, and it'll be like, great, thanks for that, guys. Yeah.
No, for sure. Right, yeah. Let's call it there. Thanks everyone for watching. Conrad, thank you very much for coming on. Do you want to shout out your channel?
Yeah, it's at @blackcats_TV or just Blackcats TV. We do match previews, match reactions. We did do our first vlog the other day at Everton, which is doing all right, actually. It's doing okay. So we're just sort of still only about a year old, our channel, and we're on about 3,600. So
nice. Well done.
Thank you. So we're doing all right. We're doing all right. We do milk the transfer rumours for a bit of a subscriber boost.
We all do.
Yeah, it's game's a game, if you wouldn't mind going over there and chucking a subscribe, even if you just want to laugh at Sunderland every time they lose, that's fine. I'm all right with it.
Guys, we're going there'll be a reverse of this video, so please check it out. Go over there, watch that too, and thank you all very much for watching. We all appreciate your time watching us, and only other thing to say is up the Palace, Eagles.